Hello, everyone. I want to play this segment from Long Crime Network about the critical moments in closing arguments of the Karen Read trial. Let me bring it up. This one. I'm going to just kind of pull cards as we go and see what we get. Use Tarot and the Whispers deck. And then I kind of want to see if this leads us towards a prediction for the verdict, or we'll look into that as well. This is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. Let's get started.
Gentlemen, there was a cover-up in this case, plain and simple.
Following 8 weeks of testimony and more than 2 years of allegations of a police frame-up by Karen Read, the defense and prosecution make their final pitches to the jury.
I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Those are the words of the defendant. 4 times.
Will Karen Read be convicted of driving drunk and killing her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe? I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. It's been a long 8 weeks for the Commonwealth. The defense...
Struggle in reverse, Woods concealed in reverse, school in reverse tends to make me believe that what this is saying right now is... Okay, so the picture this is painting for me is that there's this energy coming from the jury of there's more to know, there's more to learn. Things have been uncovered that we don't have all the information to fully understand. We have all in reverse here: struggle, Woods concealed, and school. And struggle in reverse came out as they were saying that they're claiming that Karen had said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Struggle in reverse is the card that came out here. And look at someone with their head down, all worried. This combo tends to make me believe that the jury is looking at those instances or those claims as we don't have all the information, or there's information that we have that in combination with the evidence doesn't quite add up and make sense, with the math and science on the school board there.
And John O'Keefe's family in Karen Read's murder trial. Read faces charges of second-degree murder, motor vehicle manslaughter while driving under the influence, and leaving the scene of a fatal crash. Read's case has become a sensation of sorts on social media, with people rallying to her defense, believing that...
Let me go back a second.
Fatal crash. Read's case has become a sensation. John O'Keefe's family in Karen Read's murder trial. Read faces charges of second-degree murder, motor vehicle...
That's when this card... Oh, how did I just do that? That's when this card just came out. Murder in reverse. She faces... I forget what she said now. She faces the charges of this, and this came out in reverse. More to see here, and what we're seeing doesn't add up with the evidence. Murder in reverse for her being on trial for that, which is very interesting.
Under the influence and leaving the scene of a fatal crash. Read's case has become a sensation of sorts on social media, with people rallying to her defense, believing that she was framed. The Commonwealth says it's simply not so, despite the lead investigator saying terrible, awful things about Karen Read in text messages on his personal phone. Read is accused of backing her Lexus.
Cards are yelling today. Despite the lead investigator having bad things about Karen on his personal phone, we have Tunnel Underground in reverse. So I expected this to remain hidden. It came up. Okay, I expected to be able to bury this. It came up. Church to me here is because he was speaking to someone, another authority figure. So to me, this is I didn't anticipate this coming above ground because we all would be of one mind. And unwilling to go against one another and reveal this information. Okay, so the camera that I have that's showing the cards, it's a phone, okay? And we're talking about things on the phone not being seen. And I just said to surveillance, they did not expect this information to be seen and the camera cut out. For some reason, that's making me think of how the fire alarms keep going off at certain points in the case, ego in reverse. They thought they could cover their ego. Acting on a wounded ego, thought I could cover it because we're all of one mind. Didn't think anyone was going to see the very evil stuff that was being said about Karen in those personal phones, such as hoping she herself. Okay.
SUV into John O'Keefe, going 24 miles per hour while drunk, and then leaving him to die in the snow after the two had exchanged text messages earlier in the day and argued. The relationship was ending, according to the prosecution. In Massachusetts, the defense goes first in closing arguments. The Commonwealth goes last, since it has the burden.
Caught military operation in reverse meeting. To me, that says they had all of the pieces in place to make it look like she did this, because they were just referencing the car. They were just showing the car pulling in and out. So to me, this is like we're able to fill in the blanks to make it look like this is coming from her. Is that fair to say? Yeah. Murder in reverse again. Caught military operation meeting, murder in reverse. We keep getting murder in reverse for Karen. And I don't take that to mean the car reversing. I take that to mean not the person who did this. Oh, all of this is alleged, my opinion, not facts.
Alan Jackson started by telling the jury that they'd been lied to throughout the entire trial.
4 words that sum up the hopes of those who have tried to deceive you. Conflicts of interest? Doesn't matter. Just look the other way. Magic hairs, magic glass, look the other way. Late night calls and Google searches, falsified affidavits, inverted videos, and butt dials galore.
Drugs and poison in reverse, trying to cover where the actual issue is coming from. Contract paperwork, we're all on the same page about that covering. Natural causes in reverse. How do I word this? We don't want the first domino to knock over, because then the rest of the dominoes will knock over. So we're preventing that first domino from knocking over by putting her in the place of what happened to him. Because if we don't put her, if we don't fill Karen into the blank of what happened here, then they're going to look in the house. So we have to figure out how to make it look like this happened out there, regardless of there being signs and evidence of him actually entering into the house. So essentially, we need to prevent that first domino from falling. Otherwise, they're going to look at us, and we don't want that, as in the people within the house.
Just look the other way. That's what they want. That's what they're counting on. But the uncontrovertible fact is you have been lied to in this courtroom. And your job is to make sure you don't ever look the other way. Your singular duty is to stare down the evidence and do it unflinchingly and do it unwaveringly. You see, you're the only thing standing between Karen Read and the tyranny of injustice. It's a job you didn't ask for, probably a job you didn't want, but it's the greatest responsibility we have as citizens here in America, lest the government stop answering to us and we start answering to the government.
Jackson told the
That's why this case is such a big deal, because people are starting to see that even if they're not conscious of it. Good, correct, when he was making that point, the government would stop answering to us and we would start answering to the government. Good, correct, he's making a solid point there. And that feels to me as to be a major reason why this case is, people are as invested in this case as they are. He's making a good point there. Is it going to flop where we're answering to them if things like this can happen, where the math just isn't mathing? Allegedly, my opinion.
Jury that Karen Read was a patsy for the real killers of John O'Keefe.
This falsehood of the tongue leads to that of the heart, and in time, it depraves all its good dispositions. What does that mean? It means that it's been observed that to tell an untruth, to exaggerate, to make a false claim, it's a cancer. One lie begets another, and it's a malignancy that grows over time. And that, folks, is how a cover-up is born. That's how a Massachusetts state trooper says in whispered tones to his friends when he...
That's how a cover-up is born. Mind control and PSYOP political warfare are the two cards that came out. The most basic form of mind control is repetition, is what it says. And also the little scanner thing says obey. As he's talking about them setting up what they needed to set up to make it look like this was Karen. PSYOP and political warfare. If John could give us one more card that go with these two cards, mind control and PSYOP political warfare, if he could give us one more card to go with these about what the lawyer is saying right now, them putting the pieces in place to make it look like this was Karen, what would be the card that John would give us? Stranger. I thought I knew you, but I don't. Mind control, PSYOP political warfare, stranger. Stranger to me is we're not the person who's on trial is not the person. They're trying to themselves from the setup, allegedly. And stranger to me is just saying, like, you're not who I thought you were, even though I knew you were not. Someone with ample integrity, but it's even worse than I thought, is what I'm getting from that.
He thought no one was looking or listening. How he would make a case. How he would make it cut and dry, no matter the truth. How he would make sure to put, quote, serious charges on the girl. In other words, pin it on the girl.
So pinning it on the girl, according to Jackson, was the plan of the lead investigator.
How he would pin it on the girl. Manipulation, gaslighting, and control.
Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor.
And the case was assigned to one Michael Proctor. You have to believe that when the Alberts found that out, they thought they hit the lottery. They thought they hit the lottery. What are the chances? The department where my brother works, that would have been great to investigate this case, but that department's been recused. That's tough luck. But the guy who catches the case is Michael Proctor, a guy we go back with for decades. At such a break, they probably thought.
Okay, so my brother's precinct lost or got the case taken. My friend gets the case, secret trip. And this to me is this person that does have the case that is my friend is going to help to hide or move away things that I want to keep a secret. Faked death, new life, and paper trail in reverse. Getting rid, keeping secret the paper trail, the proof, the evidence, so that I can continue to live my life as normal.
When this is over, we need to get that dude a gift. Oh, wait a minute. They didn't think that. They said it out loud. I want to touch briefly on the additional physical evidence or some additional physical evidence.
We need to get that man a gift, surveillance in reverse. We don't think anyone's going to really pay attention or see it or realize what it is or why it is, I guess.
Presented by the Commonwealth in this case. You'll recall Christina Hanley. She established to a scientific certainty the glass on the bumper, which was told to you in opening statement, was going to have something to do with this case. The glass on the bumper was going to match that cocktail glass. She told you unequivocally The glass on the bumper did not match the cocktail glass. They came from two different sources.
Did not match the cocktail glass below ground level in reverse. So above ground, we have that same energy of like, I want to bury it. It comes up. I think it's going to get buried because my friend is the investigator. It comes back up anyway. Drugs and poison in reverse to me is the cocktail glass. Not really a drug or poison, but like a drink in a glass. Drugs and poison in reverse, not from that.
The glass on the bumper has nothing to do with the cocktail glass. So that glass on the bumper had to get there somehow.
Oh, glass on the bumper as well, below ground level in reverse. The glass should have been on, but it was on the ground. So like laying on the ground as opposed to where it should have been.
It didn't get there by being broken from the cocktail glass. See the point? It had to get on the bumper somehow. It didn't jump up there by itself. And what's really interesting is that there was one piece on the bumper, only one, that matched something else in the case. It was a perfect match to a piece of glass that was supposedly found at the scene. Who do you think had possession of that matching glass?
Who do you think had possession of that matching glass? Psychic abilities, intuition. You know the answer to that. When he asks the question, when he frames it like that, you know the answer to that. Perversion in reverse, trying to pervert justice, trying to make it so true justice does not unfold, being exposed. The perversion of justice being exposed, you know what it is. That's what he just said as well.
Michael Proctor. So the glass on the bumper had to be placed there. And the only person who had anything close to matching the pieces that had to be placed there is Michael Proctor. You do the math.
Jackson reiterated the defense's claim that Trooper Proctor orchestrated the cover-up to help his friends, the Alberts, who lived at 34 Fairview Road.
Let's do three cards from John about the statement that Proctor, how did she word that? 1 second.
Created the cover-up to help his friends, the Alberts.
Proctor created the cover-up to help his friends, the Alberts. Three cards from John about that statement. There's one. There's two. I'll take four. Okay, so we have. Oh, okay. So, okay. So Proctor the statement was Proctor concocted the setup to help his friends, the Alberts. I asked for three cards from John. We have three cards flipped over, one upright. Upright is strategy, and it's also the only one that's flipped over. So John, in these three cards, is revealing the strategy of, I'm going to say how, or like the blueprint of something relating to Proctor creating the cover-up to help his friends, the Alberts. First card. Digital in reverse, getting rid of all of the digital evidence. Grandparent elder in reverse. I need to see how to take that. Hidden and missing key being revealed. Okay, so what is the hidden or missing key being revealed in this elder and grandparent card in reverse? Kidnapped, hands tied, exposed, stalked, followed. Somebody owes something to someone. This is like, you owe me to keep my secrets or I'm going to reveal yours. I have no other option. Hands tied, exposed, stalked. If you don't help me here, I'm going to expose what I know about you. Grandparents, elders in reverse, not reconnecting like old times, acting immature, having an immature mindset about it. This to me feels like you owe me. Oh, he's revealing the strategy. Why did everybody go to bat so hard for one another? Not just because they're friends, because they have dirt on one another that they don't want exposed. Female in reverse, the phone. almost like if one of us goes down, we're all going to go down like those dominoes, because we all have something on one another that if you screw me over, I'm turning around and doing the same thing right back to you. So we all need to zip it or we're all going down. And that was the strategy. And I take that to be the meeting card that we got, all of them putting their minds together and saying, well, it can't be any of us, because if it's any of us, we're going to end up all turning on one another, because I have something on you, you have something on you, you have something on you. If any of us flip, we're all flipping. What else can we do? Oh, there's Karen. Checkmate. That says Colt. I said, there's Karen, checkmate. Literally all of them linked together with TVs as their head. We're all on the same channel because we have to be. And all the strings coming from the hand to the heads, we literally are tied into this together. If we separate, the whole thing collapses.
Alberts, who lived at 34 Fairview Road. The defense has claimed through expert testimony that John O'Keefe died as the result of being beaten inside the Alberts home, and that scratches on his arm were caused by the Albert family dog, Chloe.
That John O'Keefe, the statement is that John O'Keefe died inside the Alberts family home, and that the scratches were a result of the family dog, Chloe. I have 3 cards from John about that statement. Okay, so we have 4 again, with 1 upright, sad, emotional. So this to me feels like John's feelings when this was all unfolding, realizing that he was being turned on. Secret. Work in reverse. So quite literally, those that he worked with all keeping this secret. Change of plans. Oh. Those he worked with keeping the secret. Change of plans in reverse is this was the plan. And a little bit later in this video, excuse me. Oh. Bless you, bless you. Would that mean anything right now? Anyway, a little bit later in this video, they're about to say how why were they so adamant about getting John to the house that night? Change of plans in reverse would be that. That was the plan, to get him there. Murder for hire, assassination in reverse. A secret kept between those he worked with. That was the plan the whole time. The plan might not have been to unalive him, but something taken too far. Is that fair to say? Propaganda, fake news in reverse, real news. So the plan, can I have a very direct confirmation from John's perspective now, if he's recognizing now that the plan the whole time was for them to lure him there so that they could mess him up? The plan was not to end him, but the plan was to get him there, to scare him or silence him. Fire. The fire alarms that kept going off when they were when the prosecution was talking. That's pretty direct.
I draw your attention to the waterfall tape. If you want to take another look at it, it's at the 11:57 mark, between 11:57 and 11:58. Take a look at that tape. He's just about to leave. Higgins is just about to leave. He points over at John. He motions for him. Come on. Come on. Come with me. And then at 12:20, he texts him, "You coming here?" This is a person he doesn't really know and didn't really talk to that entire night. Ask yourself, why was Higgins so insistent that John go to 34 Fairview that night?
Okay, so let's get the answer to that. Why was Higgins Okay. Manipulation, gaslighting, and control. Why was Higgins so adamant about getting John there that night? Okay. Manipulation, gaslighting, and control. And then flipped over, we have work. Okay. So identifying the person that we're speaking about. God, higher power in reverse. Bad reasons, not good ones. Not trying to break bread and have a nice meal. And mental health in reverse. My mental health, I'm exposing the state of my mental health because I'm trying so hard to get you to come because something is on my mind. And then this one's flipped over, below ground level again, so above ground level, something coming to the surface that's worrying my mental health, and I'm trying to control the situation by getting you there for bad reasons to shut you up. Oh, okay. Yes.
And then there's that sparring and fighting that he and Brian Albert were engaged in. Of all the things they could be doing, this is what they were doing just minutes before John O'Keefe walked into that house at 34 Fairview. We know that once John actually did walk in the door, it's about 2 steps, 4 feet or so, 2 steps for an adult male to reach that basement door.
When John walks in the house, which again, the other side is claiming didn't happen because they're claiming Karen hit him before he got a chance to go into the house, right? They got it wrong. Okay, was the first thing that caught my eye when he's saying that. Second thing, they're talking about John walking into the house, and this is a sign that says wrong way, go back. Like almost like John walks into the house and immediately senses, okay. Or if he didn't, it was the energy of like, you shouldn't be here. So either I shouldn't be here and I recognize that, or I'm recognizing now I shouldn't have been there. Deep state, distraction. Which is interesting because in, I think, the first reading, I said something about John walking in and everything kind of going quiet or like awkward or like people stopping talking once he was there. Deep state would be the crowd that he was with. Let's just word it that way. A distraction and this head, like it's all these different signs and symbols there, and it's next to they got it wrong. And you know what else is interesting? In that other reading, I got something about John recognizing something, picking up on something, and trying to get out of there, and then being stopped from leaving, like almost like convinced to stay is maybe how I worded that. I have to go back and look. Distraction. Cards from John. In which way were you distracted? And was it a distraction so that you would not leave immediately so a plan could unfold? Final ending in reverse. They got me to stay. I wanted to get out. I'm done. I'm leaving. This is the end. Distraction. No, you're staying. You're not leaving. You're staying. All right.
Remember, everybody was gathered in the kitchen. That's what Nicole Albert said. And every single witness agreed that at some point, Brian Higgins and Brian Albert left the group and went to another room. Where did they go? Where did they go together?
That's crazy. They said at some, all the witnesses said at some point, Albert and Higgins, is that who he said? Whoever he just said went into another room. We have travel upright. So confirming that. And then he said, where did they go? We have one card in reverse. Biology, chemistry, scientific in reverse. Oh man. So I got a, one sec. Road journey distance in reverse. We're stopping you from leaving. I guess I'll say that. So biology, chemistry, scientific, a flash in my mind of the show Dexter, where there's like something put down for the bodily fluids and or like gloves or something. To me, this is like, we're preparing to stop you from we go in the other room to stop you from leaving. We get ready. We get ready to do something that requires some kind of preparation to stop you from leaving. Corrupted media source. Because we need to paint the narrative that this did not happen in this house. So we need to get things ready for that. Evil demonic exposed. We need to make sure that people don't see the truth. We're trying to cover up the evil. We need to lie on camera to cover up the evil. One card from John to confirm. We need to lie on camera to cover up the evil. I just said how they're all the church card. They're all of one mind. We're not going to turn on each other. They have one another's backs, family. All of them against John.
Another important point. Chloe was not upstairs. Brian Albert slipped in one of his testimony that he provided. Quote, I was watching Chloe downstairs, monitoring her because of the other people in the house. She's not good with strangers. Remember that testimony.
Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should your payday?
Woods concealed when they're talking about the dog, which is interesting because where's the dog? Nobody knows. The dog's concealed. 2 more cards from John. Trash in reverse. I get that reference. Okay, when you take your trash out and you put it on the curb and the trash men take it, you don't know where it went. You know it went to a landfill, right? But you don't know exactly where. Trash is reversed, and they're saying they don't know where this dog is. I tend to believe that what that's saying is they do know where this dog is. They just don't want this dog. They don't want anyone else to know where this dog is. Secluded area. We hid this dog. Let me skip past this commercial.
Not hit SUV.
Went too far.
Checks are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. Jackson told the jury that O'Keefe was not hit by Karen Reed's SUV.
What evidence do they actually have to prove that that SUV ever hit John? The answer is none. They don't have any. There's no evidence whatsoever that Karen Reed's vehicle ever struck John O'Keefe or that Karen Reed ever wanted to strike John O'Keefe.
Democrat in reverse is making me think 2 alpha personalities going against one another like presidential candidates would, but it's in reverse. And then danger is also in reverse. So to me, this is like and what's being referenced in my mind right now is the debate is tomorrow. And this is reversed. And I know that they were fighting beforehand. So what this says to me is the fights that happened beforehand is not what caused the danger, AKA she did not hit him. Snake and backstabber in reverse. I said she did not hit him. Snake backstabber in reverse. So not her. Allegedly, my opinion.
In fact, every single piece of material evidence in this case unequivocally proves the opposite. John went into that house. That SUV was not damaged by hitting John, and John's injuries did not come.
John went into the house, celebrity in reverse. They don't want people to know that. The SUV did not hit him, female in reverse. Karen did not hit him. Exposed, stalked, followed in reverse. Karen did not. Karen did not see where he ended up until she went and the time that he was found, because she did not hit him. Celebrity in reverse has the like action thing. It's in reverse. This to me is saying after Karen drops him off, doesn't know where he goes, is when things starts to unfold. I mean, I guess she knows he goes into the house, right? But like, then she was like, where are you? So wasn't sure where he went, is how I should word that.
From being hit by a car. That's what the evidence actually shows. The Commonwealth knows that, and they've known it for a long time, and Proctor knows that. Because of that, the Commonwealth just resorts to character assassination and talking for weeks on end about the snow.
Then Jackson offered a more detailed account of how he believed O'Keefe was attacked in the Albert home.
Commonwealth's best and brightest, Trooper Paul, John absorbed the entirety of the collision, a whole collision, with that 3.5-ton SUV entirely with his right arm, launching him some 30 feet. But amazingly, the arm suffered no break, no fracture, and didn't even get a bruise.
Right. So the statement about the car hitting him should have caused damage. Where's the damage if the car hit him? If it hit him hard enough to kill him, it should have hit him hard enough to leave a bruise. Right. That's fair. Let's see what these cards are. Riot, which these are police that are all on one side of a barricade. Okay. Riot, fight, argument, anger, intensity. Plot twist. So we're talking about the car hitting him, but plot twist would be, no, it's something else. It has something to do with this riot or fight. Portal 5D, I went into the house. Hidden network. There was actually a fight. It wasn't the car. I went into the house and they're hiding it.
So how are those injuries properly explained? The evidence is simple. John got into an altercation. He was punched. He tried to defend himself by putting his hands up. He may have even scratched his own nose by putting his hands in front of his face to defend himself. His hands were bruised and covering up.
Five minutes, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. As he continued, he got hit, punch went through, and he fell to the ground, fracturing his skull. At some point during that altercation, the dog got a hold of him, and the dog was pulled away. Every single injury is answered. Every single injury is explained by that.
Every single injury is answered. Every single injury is explained by that. I kept hidden network here. Let's see what we get. Hidden network is struggling to make sense of the injuries that are actually explained if you look into what actually happened inside the home. Pattern repetition. That's extremely self-explanatory, but those who have tried to hide things behind the scenes are likely to do it again. Hired. Hired, we were talking about Proctor helping them to secret trip, hide stuff that they did not want above ground level seen. Hired to continue to hide so that they did not run into an issue with their repeated bad behavior. Allegedly, my opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, given what we know about the facts and the physical evidence in this case, the actual truth in this case, how did this happen? How did we end up here? We ended up here because of relationships, insider trading, playing the who you know game. and building a tall blue wall.
Then it was the Commonwealth's turn. Adam Lally began his closing.
Building a tall blue wall, drugs and poison, that's the issue. The tall blue wall is the issue. One card. The tall blue wall is the issue in this case. Money in reverse. I said, what cards came out that made me say that? I don't remember. But I said, it's a bunch of I owe you, you owe me, so we got to keep one another's secrets. Money in reverse, debt. That tall, is it fair to say that the tall blue wall that they're referencing that is enacted, that's allowing certain things to remain hidden, is because there's a bunch of IOUs and a bunch of I'll keep your secrets only if you keep mine that are what is causing that tall blue wall to be effective? There's that natural causes in reverse. There's those dominoes. We don't want that. That's the card. I said, what card was it? That was the card because it was the dominoes. If that first domino gets knocked over, all the rest of them are falling. If one person goes down, all the rest of them are.
By reminding the jury of Karen Read's own words the morning she found O'Keefe in the snow.
I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Those are the words of the defendant. 4 times. You heard testimony from 4 different witnesses who overheard and observed those statements from the defendant.
I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Outside, out in the open, in reverse, and thief in reverse. I'm giving you what to say, or I'm filling in what you said.
On January 29th, 2022. You heard testimony from firefighter Timothy Nuttall. He was trying to bag, valve mask Mr. O'Keefe. He was working on resuscitative efforts to try to save Mr. O'Keefe's life. He asked if anyone saw anything or knew what happened. And the defendant said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Firefighter Anthony Flamati was asking if
Secluded area, to me, is when it comes out in reference to her saying, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Secluded area to me is like, that's where he was not where what happened. And then we have church in reverse, which is that same card that referenced all of their mindsets being the same. I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. And then again, in reference to her being the one that hit him, we have murder in reverse again.
If anyone had information on why Mr. O'Keefe was there in the snow, the defendant repeatedly said, I hit him, I hit him, oh my God, I hit him. Firefighter Katie McLaughlin was tasked by firefighter Flamati with asking for biographical information and for what the cause was of the traumatic injuries that all the firefighters testified that they observed on Mr. O'Keefe. She asked the defendant, and the defendant said, I hit him repeatedly. Firefighter McLaughlin asked for clarification. You did what? And the defendant repeated, I hit him.
Can't confirm. People saying that Karen said this, the card that came out is can't confirm.
Jennifer McCabe stated initially over the phone when speaking with the defendant that the defendant said, could I have hit him in the car while they're on the phone with Ms. Roberts going from Ms. McCabe's house to Mr. O'Keefe's house? Did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Once on scene, once asked, as Ms. McCabe described by an EMT, for name, age, things like that related to Mr. O'Keefe, what caused the trauma? She indicated in her testimony that the defendant said repeatedly, I hit him.
Lally then moved to Trooper Proctor's text messages about Karen Read. They're basically the elephant in the room.
Let me first just address Trooper.
In reference to Karen saying, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, or what they're claiming she said, love private property travel. This to me is I left before this happened. Aliens. I left before this happened. He saw the signs that he did not feel like he belonged there. Tried to leave, was stopped.
The text messages for Proctor are professional, they're indefensible, they're inexcusable. However, as distasteful as those messages are, and their content is, I submit they had no bearing whatsoever or impact whatsoever on the integrity of the entirety of the investigation that Massachusetts State Police collectively conducted.
So we're talking about the text messages on the phone. The card that's upright is cover up. We have 3 in reverse. The first one is psychic abilities and intuition. What does your intuition tell you about someone who's going to send text messages that they expect to be covered up and never revealed about? Basically, we'll make these charges stick. We'll make these charges very bad for her, and we'll hope that she ain't herself. Hired, as in who? Proctor. Red flag in reverse. What does your intuition tell you about those text messages? Because what it should tell you is that this was to cover up, hire someone to help cover up so that no red flags would be leading to that first domino falling.
Lally then reiterated that as terrible as those text messages are, Trooper Proctor said in one that he hoped Karen Read might take her own life, while on the stand he said it was just a figure of speech. Lally said it is not.
That's not a figure of speech. Anyway, rabbit hole, and then we have 2 that are flipped over. Rabbit hole, military operation. Mind control in reverse. The operation was to control the narrative so that it stuck to Karen. What else would we find down the rabbit hole of this operation that was meant to control the narrative? Top secret. Affluent, wealthy, upper class. What would we find down the rabbit hole of this operation that was meant to control the narrative and make this only stick to Karen, which is proven in those text messages, and your intuition should tell you that something's off if those type of things are being said, and then this is what unfolds, right? So top secret of the mighty, top secret of those who are using that blue wall to try and get away from what happened inside that home. What did I say? Trying to get away from what happened inside that home. Home in reverse. They're trying to make it so you can't see what happened. They're trying to control the narrative. If we went down the rabbit hole and looked at the operation to control the narrative, we would find a top secret kept between those who are mighty or have power or authority, trying to literally cover what happened within that home. That was not safe. Allegedly.
Not evidence of a frame up.
As was asked of Trooper Proctor on cross-examination, these were texts from his personal phone that he never thought would see the light of day. He was asked whether or not he ever thought that he would be asked about these in a courtroom. Put to him in sort of a safe space, a safe place for him to discuss.
Disaster avoidable.
What do you not see in those text messages?
In a safe place.
You don't see any discussion or any illusion of any conspiracy, of any framing of the defendant, of any planting of any evidence. No evidence whatsoever. Why? Because it didn't happen. There is no conspiracy. There is no cover-up. There is no evidence of any of that beyond speculation, rampant speculation and conjecture on behalf of the defense.
Lally.
Okay, so we have man-made disaster avoidable. We have 6 cards here. First one. What can we know about this avoidable man-made disaster that has something to do with the text messages that they never thought would see the light of day? Surveillance in reverse, that they never thought would see the light of day. Now we have murder upright. Runaway and escape in reverse, trying to trap Karen's energy or Karen's name in this, even though they don't want people to see what really happened. The hidden and missing key, surveillance in reverse. We're talking about the text messages on the phone that they never thought would be revealed. That's the missing piece. That shows you what was going on behind the scenes. Murder Revenge. Oh no. Why did that go out? Murder and revenge. Was that out when I flipped that card? If that was out when I flipped that card, that's the second time this camera's gone out. I have it plugged in. There's no reason it should be going out. It usually doesn't go out. And we're talking about things wanting to be hidden. Murder and revenge. They wanted to hide so that no one saw that this was a revenge-fueled murder. Runaway escape in reverse, embezzlement. Money exchanging hands. I said IOU, okay? IOU was the money in reverse card. And then we also had the mighty affluent card, which has the people in the suits. This is a combination of the two cards, money exchanging hands, but it's in reverse. It's being hidden. Money exchanging hands so that people don't see the missing piece of what really happened here that had to do with revenge. Runaway escape. This is like, I can't escape my own issues if you can talk about what you know, as in John. So I need to take care of you so that you cannot expose me. Desert Mirage. You don't see it, but it's there. I mean, we kind of see it, but like this trial is focused on Karen. What aren't we seeing? Those who were in that home with the power to cover things up and had a whole operation to control the narrative, to hide the red flags, which is why Proctor was hired to cover up that rabbit hole. Secret weapon in reverse, trying to hide that he was being used as that.
Kelly then showed the jury the text messages between Reed and O'Keefe that day. They showed a relationship ending. There was arguing, and Lally said it all came to an end after a night of drinking when Karen Reed dropped O'Keefe off at 34 Fairview and backed into John O'Keefe.
So within minutes of that vehicle's data, going 24.2 miles an hour in reverse for 62.5 feet, the defendant leaves that voicemail seething in rage as she's screaming, "John, I hate you." 12:40 to 12:42. Ms. McCabe is texting Mr. O'Keefe. She tries calling Mr. O'Keefe, gets no answer. If you recall from her testimony around this time frame, about 12:40, she was unsure whether the vehicle was actually still out front or if it had gone at that point. But she was looking for John because she had seen the defendant's vehicle in front of the house. And
okay, so we have assassination, murder for hire here, and then we have 6 cards. What can we know about this? And what's really sticking out to me here is for hire, we're talking about money exchanging hands with those in the house, okay? Whereas with Karen, we're talking about like a love-fueled fight. So if it was for hire, it wouldn't be her because she would have been the one fighting with him and the one that did it, if it was her, which I don't believe it is. If it was someone in the house, it's like, I'm egging you on to take care of this problem for me. Bloodline and family lineage in reverse. Delays. We know he's out there. The phone search of how long does it take for someone to die in the snow. Family bloodline was in the house. Those are the ones that were searching those things. Jen, true. So those in the house were searching certain things, knowing he was outside, and that is true. And they were waiting probably for him to not be able to fight the injuries that had occurred. Family bloodline in reverse, royalty in reverse. That's the same thing as that affluent card. The mighty shall fall. Secret trip, delays. Why are we buying time? So we can hide what happened. True corruption.
No one had come in. So she was wondering where her friend, Mr. O'Keefe, was. 12:55. The defendant texts John, see you later. 12:59. The defendant calls, leaves another voicemail for Mr. O'Keefe. Exhibit 637. It sounded like this.
John, I'm dealing with your kid. Nobody knows what the you want to hurt her.
But somebody did know where Mr. O'Keefe was. The defendant knew exactly where he was. She had driven him there.
Regret, good, correct, cheating, and affair in reverse. To me, that's Karen regrets leaving those messages, regrets looking at it that way. Maybe didn't realize that she was coming from a place of this wound that she had not worked on healing, which is much different than what we got for the people in the house who aren't really feeling bad because they're not really cooperating to that extent, if that makes sense. Corruption, true. When we have regretting leaving that message, affair, cheating in reverse to me is like, I wish that I would have treated you better. I'm regretful of that now.
So it struck him there. She left him to die.
Lally basically argued to the jury that there was a cover-up, but it was Karen Read who orchestrated it. Lally argued that she came up with a cover story for evidence that made her look guilty, including the now infamous How Long to Die in the Cold Google search by Jennifer McCabe.
The defendant asked Ms. McCabe to Google how long to die in the cold. She did so at 6:23 and 6:24 in the morning. You have the testimony.
Child in reverse, justice karma in reverse, marriage, wedding in reverse. To me, this is saying her being the one that's on trial instead of those who were searching things that clearly marked that they knew where he was before he was found is a miscarriage of justice. Essentially, his partner being on stand is the wrong thing. We're not going to get justice if the right person is not on trial. We're not, what did I just say? Oh, what did I just say? We're not going to get justice if the right person is not on trial. Work, con man, and psyop political warfare. If the right person is not on trial, who is the right person? Those he worked with that are not who they claim to be, that are trying really hard to control the narrative so that their own dominoes don't fall.
Of Ms. Hyde and Mr. Whitfield as to SQLite databases, P-list databases, Knowledge C databases, state DB tabs, as far as all of them, also from Super Garino as well. These searches were unequivocally done at 6:23, 6:24 in the morning, and not at 2:27 and 40 seconds in the morning. They were not deleted by a user. That is not what deleted means. Frankly, Mr. Green, the last question that I asked Mr. Green.
That's very telling. Okay, so he's saying these weren't done at 2, they were done at 6. We have a live here. John would have still been alive potentially earlier, closer to 2, as opposed to at 6 when he was closer to being found. Optical illusion in reverse. We're seeing that clearly.
Was he aware that Cellbrite, and by Cellbrite, the person who designed that being Mr. Whitfield, had to alter exactly how their software worked because of people like Mr. Green misinterpreting the data as he did in this case? And what did Mr. Green say? Yes. But those questions, as far as how long to die in the cold, I would submit mirror the questions that the defendant asked firefighter Whitley in the back of the ambulance, if you recall those. She asked firefighter Whitley how long to die in the cold without a jacket. He knew how Mr. O'Keefe was dressed. She knew when she left him to die in the cold how he was dressed.
And Lally argued.
Death, freedom, healing in reverse. My death happened when I tried to get out of a situation that I realized was going to go bad. that I realized I wasn't going to be able to get out of. Contract paperwork in reverse. Angels in reverse. They had an agreement to go against me together in a lower vibrational energy so that I could not heal. I almost feel like what this is saying is the plan was to scare him, rough him up, teach him a lesson, something to that effect. But almost like once it started unfolding, it was clear that it was going to go too far. There's the change of plans card. Now we have it upright. It's clear it was going to go too far. That wasn't the original plan, but that was the plan once things started to unfold. Celebrity on its side, and there's that. Now we have it upright. So that would be, I'm contemplating abuse of power, celebrity in reverse. I don't want people to know what you know about me, as in the other people in the house to John.
Argued that Karen Read's actions, the little things that she did, added up to show her guilt.
And this is upright now, so that would go with the riot card, two sides battling one another, with referencing the debate tomorrow.
It's after the defendants arrive back at One Meadows Ave, after her phone is reconnected with Mr. O'Keefe's Wi-Fi. And you can hear the footsteps. Part of that may be in the garage, part of that might be in the house. Why is it that the defendant has no issue with wearing shoes in the house when Mr. O'Keefe has that strict rule? Because she knows where he is. She knows it's not an issue. He's not coming home because she hit him with her SUV and she left him in the snow. John Adams once wrote, "Facts are stubborn things. And whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations."
And she left him out in the snow, blackmail paid off, outside, out in the open. The claims that are out in the open against Karen are because there's money exchanging hands to cover up for what actually happened. Low vibrational in reverse, secret government program. A secret government program that's being exposed to be darker in nature, as in terms of like covering for one another. Allegedly, my opinion.
Or the dictates of our passions. They cannot alter the state of the facts and the evidence. What the constellation of the facts and the evidence ineluctably demonstrate here is that the defendant drove her vehicle in reverse for 24.2 miles per hour for 62.5 feet, struck Mr. O'Keefe, causing those catastrophic head injuries, leaving him incapacitated and freezing his death.
Mr.
We have blackmail paid off. Underneath of it, we have PSYOP, political warfare, once again. What is being paid for through blackmail? A PSYOP, a political warfare, controlling the narrative in a way that's abusing power, allegedly, my opinion. Outside, out in the open, propaganda, fake news. What is out in the open? Lies. Why? Because there's blackmail. Low vibrational in reverse, timeline issue in reverse. We have to stay we have to stick with the plan until it's time for the next step of the plan. We all need to act like everything is fine until someone else finds him. And then we have to be like, oh no, what happened? Secret government program, new world order, one eye. I'm going to pretend like I don't see what's going on over there. One hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. People covering up for one another.
Lily, I have to stop you. You've gone over. Okay.
Okay. So that is all we're going to look into right now. Let's end this with I'm going to do one card flipped over and then see what John's energy would like to end this with. Oh, the hidden and missing key being revealed. We're going to do 2 rows of 3 again. What would John like to end this with? Discussing a hidden or missing key to this. Good or correct? What would John like to discuss? A hidden missing key. Yes, that's what I'd like to discuss. I'd like to reveal a secret in reverse. Timeline issues. Accident in reverse. This was not an accident. And look, that's a car crash in reverse. Thumbs up. This was not that. Quite literally, the hidden or missing key, the secret being revealed is that what happened here was not this accident. This was on purpose, and this was not a car because it's in reverse. Secret in reverse, power and power supply. The secret is that there's an abuse of power that's allowing this to unfold in the way it is. Timeline issues, health issues in reverse. Quite literally, we have to wait until he's not alive anymore before he can be found. One last card. Con man. Not who they pretend to be. And there's the card. This is another card with a suit on it. So we referenced that affluent upper class card, the mighty. And that's my door. 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up now, but that timing, as I'm ending the reading, a knock at the door. We're talking about John walking into the house and all of this unfolding. I'm going to leave this at that for now. I know that they're on a verdict watch, so I'll probably do another reading after that. Please remember that this is alleged, my opinion, not facts. These are not facts. These are my opinions, and it is all alleged. Okay, have a great day.